Brent, it's great to see you, man. The last time I saw, well, I'll let you tell folks. The last time I saw you, when was the last time I saw you, my friend?
I saw you at the Rivoli for Lemon Stage, and it was December. It was just before Christmas. I think it might have been December 9th.
Yes, it
That's
was.
yeah.
It was an amazing show. I got a chance to introduce you and the band, and even more importantly, I got a chance to hear you guys, and it was like, wow, such a throwback. I was thinking to myself, I'm feeling like Cool in the Gang. I'm feeling Earth, Wind, and Fire. I'm feeling the Whispers. And if I was just to see you guys and then hear you guys, it was like two different dimensions somehow came together and formed this. Straight up, man, it was a great show, great performance. But man, where does that love of old school come from?
I mean, in all of us, in for sure. I'm the primary songwriter, and I mean, I grew up with a heavy love of bossa nova. I loved a lot of the like acid jazz scene from the 90s. I was a big like, early on like the first 3 or 4 albums of Jamiroquai were huge inspiration.
Mm.
There was a band from New York called Groove Collective. They were
Yes.
on a label Giant Step. There was like New Eurekan Soul, so sort of that sort of like 90s era, but then that also, I'm massive, pretty much the entire 70s catalog of Marvin Gaye. I like a lot of like soft 70s AM stuff, like some of the Carole King, Joni Mitchell, that kind of stuff too. But I liked groups um like Diodato, some of that fusion stuff like Idris Muhammad and all that stuff, the CTI jazz label there, man, like was big for me, still is. So a lot of that stuff resonates. I think like as a guitar player, those chords, those sort of jazz chords, the sevens, I've just always been sort of part of my playing. So that's that. And the crew that I play with, we're all sort of like they vibe on that too. But I mean, even in new R&B, like the Anderson Paak, the Malibu album, there's so many throwbacks in that. And like Frank Ocean, the Channel
Yeah.
Orange record was a big record for me as well. So there's a lot of stuff, you know, um Caliucci, there's tons of like newer stuff that's also referencing that stuff. So it's just like a timeless feel to me, and it speaks to me. And I mean, to keep it somewhat contained here, I think that as a lyricist, lyrics are important to me. I grew up listening to the Beatles, and I've always loved a message of love is huge for me. And I think when you play music that's soul music, it sort of lends itself to be able to express feelings of, I mean, we sing a lot about empathy and unity and love and peace and all that kind of stuff. So it feels good. And sunshine makers, just the idea of making sunshine is, we really just want to get up there and make people not only dance but feel good, feel positive.
Is that a lost art, do you think? Because you don't see a lot of that today. And again, it's not knocking artists or whatever. They're doing whatever they're doing, whatever. But the fact that, it's not about this,
Hmm.
it's about not just what you feel, but hopefully what you feel and those vibrations are going to get you doing this.
Yeah.
And then while you're doing that, you're hearing something lyrically that's going to make you do this. Is that a lost art, do you think?
I don't know if it's entirely lost. I feel like, in a way, I feel like definitely if I were to look to mainstream, I don't know if I see it all that often. Whereas it
And
might have,
that's what I'm referring to.
yeah, like at one point, I feel like it was freely like, it was lots of exposure in those eras to be able to just, take sort of, inspiration from the life, even though that times have always had it, their downs for sure. I just feel it's so important in my mind as a musician with the ability to make music to not only honor and respect the music that's sort of molded how I am, but it seems to me like a no-brainer to want to get up there and sort of connect with people. I think that's really what music, that's the benefit of it is that more than the ego, more than the money, more than anything else. It's to just to just to experience that is everything, man. Yeah, and as far as a lost art, I don't know. I feel like that stuff, it gets diluted with all of these other things. Ego's huge in people, money's
Yeah.
huge, you
Yeah.
know. So I think, it must be hard. I feel like, every 5 years I'll come across like something that's modern that does have that feeling, but it's far and few, I think.
I remember talking to John Oates. I've had the chance to interview him a few times. And whenever the subject of Blue Eyed Soul came up, he was always like, I'm not a fan of that.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
think, um, and I could be wrong, I think Barry Gibb from the Bee Gees kind of said the same thing. Not a fan of that title.
Of that
Um,
title, yeah.
of that title. Have people categorized you guys as Blue Eyed Soul? And if they did, how would you, is it something as a badge of honor, or would you say the same thing? Not a fan of that.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's a good question. Um, I don't feel that that would be a negative statement. I also just don't know if that's a true statement. Someone sort of listened to us and has said that, in the past. And yeah, I heard the Bee Gees for sure. It makes me think about like, like Boz Scaggs or like
Yeah,
Bobby Caldwell, that kind of
great,
stuff,
great examples. Great
which is
examples.
huge for me. Like, of course, so in that regard, if it's reminding them of music from those like people like that, that's definitely an honor, man. Because like Lowdown, like that's a jam, man. That's like timeless for me, you know. Yeah, so I don't know. I never really, until you asked that, I never really thought about it. I feel like my inspiration comes from far and wide, and it wouldn't really pinpoint it to that. So I don't know. I mean, if I was going for that more like yacht rock sort of sound, maybe it would make more sense. But I'm also coming from like more of like definitely R&B Motown sort of inspiration, and
Yeah.
and definitely like the jazz and the funk and even some disco too, like Heat Wave is huge for me.
And for the kids who are going, what's he talking about? Heat wave? Google it,
Yeah, Heat
and
Wave,
you'll figure
huge.
exactly. You'll know not just the fast tracks, but the slow tracks as well. Just
Absolutely, man.
and we'll leave it to that. And as an
Yeah,
old school guy who grew up on that and listened to it on the radio and has the vinyl and things like that, do people come up and say that they're surprised in hearing what you're doing today? Because like I said, for me, never knowing you guys, never seeing you guys,
sure.
introducing you guys, and then hearing what I heard, I was just
Mhm.
like, damn, where did these guys come from?
Yeah, there's a bit of that. There's definitely a bit of that. It's funny because I never really think about it. Like I feel like there are, labels that are with modern day bands at some points, I'll listen to, I'll think about our sound and be like, yeah, it's current as well in some regard. So I don't, but I mean at the same time I don't come across like we don't come across playing with a lot of bands that sound like that. There's not really
Yes.
many. Like, I sort of have reached out. I feel like I would really like to get to be able to meet like the free label guys, because like, they're sort of on my radar, and I'm like, man, like there it would be neat to sort of like team up with some of these other people that seem to be on a similar train, because I live in London, Ontario. I don't know any other sort of band doing
Wait
that.
a second. Let's stop right there. You live in London, Ontario.
I do, yeah.
Okay. Love London, Ontario, but that's the last place I would expect a band like yours to say that they are from. You said Toronto, I could dig that, but London, because London is like, rock and roll, let's tear
Rock
it
and roll,
down kind
man.
of thing, or
It's rock and
it
roll.
is country all the way. I would
Yeah,
never expect that.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, we're here, man. All of us are here. Just feeling this. Yeah, it's pretty funny because when we play shows around here, it's like, the promoters are just kind of like, how do we pair you? We actually just curated our own show. A promoter was very kind to us. There's a bowling alley here called Palisade Social Bowl. And the promoter was like, I got to be honest with you. I really want you to play, but I don't know who to pair you with. So he allowed me to sort of reach out to people. And we got this cool band from Guelph coming. They're called She Bad. One word. You should check them out. They're good. They're kind of like, different than what we're doing, but they have horns. There's some elements of some of the stuff that we're doing here. Um, but yeah, yeah. As far as London goes, when I go out to shows here, it is like you said, man.
It's an amazing accomplishment for you guys in going through your gut and through your heart and what you're doing. The only thing I would love to see, maybe once or twice, I'd love to see you guys have some female backup singers perform
You
too,
know
man.
what? We do now. Since that
Ah!
since that show, yeah, we got them, man. Yeah, yeah. We just like in the new year, we basically after that show that I
And I
saw
didn't
you.
know this. I didn't know
Yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah. So after that show that we did, where we saw you, that was the last one of last year, and we sort of after the Christmas holidays, we made it a goal to focus more on harmonies, and yeah, so we have a a couple guest singers, and we have someone, her name's Imogen, and she's joined the band, so and she's killer, man. So that's where it's at. It's just growing.
You know what? Bow to you guys, man. That's
And
great. But you're adding all these elements and things together. For I understand too, isn't there new music out right now or coming up?
yeah, there is new music currently. So um February, I guess it was February 10th. It was the day my birthday's February 11th. So the day before my birthday, uh our first EP came out. And the EP is actually compiled like the A side of an LP. So we do have a an EP coming out later on in this year that's called Side B. And then once they're both out digitally, we'll have a full length.
That's
But yeah,
brilliant.
yeah,
Oh my
man.
goodness. What's the album? How's it sounding? How's it representing you guys? And is there a single out from it right now?
Yeah, there is. Yep, there's a single with a video, and the track is called "The Dream." It features some local London talent. There's our buddy, he goes by King Cruff, and he does sort of like a rap verse on one of the like this the second verse, and this cool like beautiful singer. Her name's Eleanor, and she sings on the track as well. I think CBC here in London's given it some love. I feel like After Dark might be helping us out as well. We shot a video for it. It's just sort of out circulating online. I sort of check the Spotify statistics and stuff like that just to see. It looks like it's making its way around the world. But at this point, just really just trying to like hustle and get the music out. There's some really cool features on it as well. Like it's been like a labor of love, but I've reached far and wide. Like there's local talent like Odario Williams, like from After Dark and Grand Analog. So he does a verse, and I even got the drummer from Tame Impala to do a verse as well. So and then there's like some bass lines from Chester from Bad Bad Not Good. So there's some exciting sort of moments on it that way, and it's been just a passion project. So for it to finally come out after the pandemic, I held on to it. It was a project that started in 2018, and I just sort of shelved it and had hoped, for the best to be able to put it out when times were happier and sunnier and we could get out. So yeah, it's called A Side. It's out, and there's 6 tracks on it. And it's out there. It's on all the streaming platforms. So
Just curious, once both are released, is there any chance down the future, or maybe even towards the holiday season, it'll be re-released, but as vinyl, side A, side B?
that's my goal. That is the goal.
Are we like, is this going on here or what?
I think so, man. I think so, man.
What's going on summer wise, man? Tour wise, what's going on with you guys?
Well, we just so the end of this month, actually, I sort of do all the booking currently, just because I'm hustling. I'm trying to make the band busy enough so that we can get into places where people might want to help us and take it further. But I feel like our band would be great for like a tour circuit, like festival sort of stuff. It's summery kind of stuff. So I applied for that Breaking Sound thing. So the band is actually doing it this month. So April 27th, we're doing it at the Drake Underground. And then I just found out yesterday that we got accepted into North by Northeast. So
Ah,
so yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. Yeah, and we're doing, I think that's Friday, June 16th at the Horseshoe. It's a 9 p.m. slot, so that's a pretty premium time slot and day. And then we've submitted for some other festivals in Ontario, and we're keeping our fingers crossed, hoping that some of them can come through. And other than that, we've booked a couple shows here in London. We have a show at this place called Mods in Sarnia. Actually, I'm wearing their hat.
cool.
Mods is if anyone ever ends up in Sarnia, that's definitely the spot. They're cool people that care about music, so they're sort of helping the scene there. But
Fantastic.
yeah, man, I think that's all that we got going right now. Just wait on it. Honestly, at this point, we're just waiting, every day for just emails, just to see if anything will come through and help us just grow this thing. Actually, the other thing that we're gonna do is in Tilsonburg, we're gonna do July 1st, which is Canada Day. We'll do like a festival there, first of its kind. There's a guy, really nice guy out there. His name's Patrick, and he's running a spot called The Mill, and he started like generating some pretty cool shows. Like Chris Murphy from Sloan's playing there,
Oh, wow.
and like the Sadies are coming there. So it's sort of turning into a little bit of a spot to go.
Well,
Considering, when I used to think about Tilsonburg, I just thought about stomping Tom Connor.
that's what we all did, man. So don't even sweat that. Look, you know what? You guys are becoming Canada's best kept secret, and I hope the secret is getting out there because it's much deserved. You guys are amazing performers, amazing sound, and unique to the core, which is what I love, and so much respect to old school. So congratulations on all this new music and the upcoming success. Crossing fingers for more success for you, and I cross my fingers too that at some point in time in the future, I get to introduce you guys again to even a bigger stage. It was great to talk to you guys and do that with Lemon Stage and Lemon Entertainment, and just looking forward to more of that in the future, man. Congratulations and thanks for the interview.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much. Thanks for the interview.